It's a new day for hope, healing, and good morning. Welcome to Kelowna Now Live. We've got some trainees in the background here helping us out this morning, and but we've got it under control, I think. So Natasha's not here. She was here last night. This is your morning news report, and thanks for joining us. We've got your 5-day weather forecast coming up as well, the check on the roads. But first, we're going to check in with Liz up at Big White. Liz, we normally talk to Andrew, and but we'd like to make your acquaintance. How are things going up there?
Absolutely fantastic up here. We have had a load of snow falling in the past 12, 24, and 48, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Fantastic. So it was what is our base actually at right now, and how many runs do we got open?
The base is currently sitting, according to our calculations, at 138 centimeters. So we've broken that meter mark a considerable time ago, and the snow's just continuing to fall. We've had over 200 centimeters in total this season so far, and that's the accumulative snow falling over and over as a total versus our snowpack, which is just a measured section of snow that is left completely to Mother Nature. So sometimes it goes up with fresh snow, and it also starts to go down a little bit when the snow itself starts to compress or the wind affects it.
Right. So that's great. It sounds like you've had a lot in the last few days. And as we're looking ahead, the weather, it looks like we might even have some bluebird ski days ahead, right?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the forecast in the next few days, we may see some openings in the cloud, and hopefully so, because, there's nothing better than Okanagan champagne powder on a bluebird day. But the biggest thing we need to put forward to your viewers and listeners are that we're having very extreme temperatures right now. We're actually going to be closing the Bullet chairlift this evening for night riding, but we do still have the plaza open, so there will still be night riding at Big White. But the extreme temperatures are ranging from minus 15, we're clocking at the moment. With the wind chill, that could drop considerably lower. So the message from Big White is rug up. Stay warm this weekend.
Rug up. That sounds like you got to cover yourself up with rugs. We've got these hand and foot warmers for the kids. Obviously, even the adults might like those here in the next couple of days. When it's really cold at Big White, what do you do for fun other than bundle up and stay warm? Are there fun, exciting, really cold activities you can do?
Absolutely. We've still got all of our on-mounting activities. The ice rink is open. We have dog sledding and horse-drawn sleigh rides. Really good opportunities to get a hot beverage and really rug up with a fur blanket and enjoy looking out at, the winter wonderland that is forming. Also, with these really cold temperatures, you can take some hot water, throw it in the air, have your Instagram fantasy, and make little clouds. So, if it's cold outside, you can still make the most of it up here at Big White.
Liz, sounds great. Well, we're glad to meet you. Thanks for joining the program, telling us what's happening there at Big White. And just sounds like bundling up. We'll have lots of winter fun.
Absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise.
Look forward to seeing you up here at Big White.
Sounds good. We'll be there. All right, that's Liz from Big White. We'll move on to our top story now. A tent has been completely destroyed and 2 others damaged after a large fire at a Kelowna homeless encampment. The fire was reported just after 1 a.m. The first firefighters on the scene at the Kelowna outdoor sheltering site number 4 in the 800 block of Waddell Place found a large tent fire spreading quickly. Scott Clark, KFD platoon captain, said crews were able to quickly knock down the fire. Nobody was injured, but Clark added one tent was completely destroyed with 2 neighboring tents damaged. And he said the fire is considered suspicious and is now being investigated. Well, the head of a national group of emergency room doctors says he's disgusted that the provinces and territories have generally not planned for overcrowding in ERs, expected overcrowding in ERs, especially as respiratory season starts to peak in many areas. Dr. Michael Howlett, president of the Canadian Association of Emergency Physicians, said that governments and hospital administrators have failed to heed the warnings of health professionals tasked with caring for more patients, including those who often end up in hallways instead of wards where they could get better care. He says he's frustrated that there are people in control of the system that think they know better than many of us with experience on the front lines dealing with patients. He said he works in rural and urban ERs for Lakeridge Health, based in Oshawa, Ontario. He was also the chief of emergency medicine there until last September. Many emergency physicians who have tremendous administrative and leadership expertise across the country, and many are in leadership roles, and in many instances have a lot to offer, and nobody wants to pay attention to them. Everyone else thinks they know how to know our specialty, and they don't. So these are the comments Howlett made during Wednesday BC Health Minister session, as a BC Health Minister said, 10,435 patients, a record number, were hospitalized Tuesday night, many of them with a respiratory illness. Adrian Dix says it's very challenging, adding that 18,000 healthcare workers recently missed at least one day of work due to illness, putting additional pressure on the system. Dix said it's a particularly challenging time for the healthcare system, but that the province had administered 1.5 million doses of a flu vaccine, and the highest number in Canada. The system needs to do a better service for those minor cases, added Gilbert Boucher, president of the Association of Specialists of Medicine Urgent in Quebec, and an emergency physician at the Montreal Heart Institute. Bonnie Henry, the provincial officer in BC, said respiratory season was expected to hit its peak next week as more people likely become infected with the H1N1 flu virus. That's really one of the things causing most of the illness now, she told a news conference with Adrian Dix. Howlett said the surge in ER patients often means patients have to be put in uncomfortable stretchers and hallways, which increases the risks of developing bed ulcers, especially for elderly folks who can't sleep in noisy, bright areas with lots of people walking by. Howlett's group met with provincial and territorial health ministers during their gathering in Charlottetown last October to discuss how they could all join forces at a national forum this spring to come up with potential fixes to overcrowding in emergency rooms. And so far, not a single province has responded to the invitation, adding doctors expect to go ahead with gathering anyway. Once again, a story about the government department clearly failing but not interested in listening to the experts at ground level. And the dysfunction continues there. All right. If you own a business in Kelowna, you have less than a week to renew your license if you haven't done so already. Business owners, whether big or small, are required to have a license to own or operate any business in Kelowna. That includes all retail and commercial establishments, management, professional firms, and all types of home businesses, bookkeeping, legal services, short-term rentals, the whole gamut of things. And the renewal date for businesses that deal with the City of Kelowna is set for Monday, January 15th. If you miss the deadline, you'll be charged a $25 penalty. I've heard that the fee for the business license has gone up quite a bit this year, so you might want to still renew and save some money on that penalty. Business license holders will notice that their invoice looks a little different from last year because they've adopted a new business license bylaw earlier this fall, and new business license applicants will be requiring a business name, description of business, model, address, contact information, a whole bunch of other information, and a $50 non-refundable application fee due upon the submission of the application. So you can find out more about the changes, how to pay your fees, and everything here at the story at KelownaNow.com. Kent Mulgat recently met up with a business in Kelowna. Business is now offering up luggage specifically designed for wine lovers. So 6 years after purchasing Kelowna pool tables, owner Jeff Watson, who you see here in this video, has queued up this new venture, which is quintessentially Okanagan in securing the rights for the Canadian rights for Fly with Wine. He says you no longer have to wrap it in your clothing. There you go. You can see some video of it. The luggage allows wine tourists to buy as they try and take more of it home with them in confidence as they leave. And so there you go. He says he spotted the cases during a recent trip to Portland, arranged a meeting with the company's CEO, secured the Canadian rights, and the company was born. So BC-based, Kelowna-based entrepreneurs there with a pretty unique product and one that's just perfect for our area. So it looks like you can pick them up at some of the wineries around town, at Kelowna pool tables, and at Amazon.ca. A quick update story on the Kelowna Santabus. The final tally is in, and Kelowna's 21st annual Santabus was another great success, raising $48,000 food, gifts, and toys for people in need over the holidays, supporting over 1,000 families. The bus ran from December 3rd to 9th, stopping at various locations throughout the city to collect donations for the Salvation Army's Christmas Assistance Program. So great news story there. And congrats to everybody involved. That's a lot of work, and a lot of people helped. It's been a very mild fall and winter so far, but the consistent sub-zero temperatures have finally arrived in full force. And as we were talking to Liz up at Big White, it means things are freezing up really tight. Now, you might want to stay off the lakes because they can freeze at these temperatures, but the ice might not be that thick. But if you want to get out and enjoy the beautiful blue sky and the fresh air and do something exciting, you may want to check out one of the rinks in Kelowna and in the central Okanagan. There's an outdoor rink right behind Joe Rich Community Hall, which is now officially open. It's the size of a 3-on-3 rink with boards, benches, nets, outdoor lighting, proper change room, and it's maintained by the Regional District of the Central Okanagan staff. And you can learn more about the rink and check out the schedule for skating and hockey in the story at KelownaNow.com. So we've got a couple of outdoor choices, plus Rutland, and the quintessential Canadian sport. All right, and speaking of which, the Warriors have added a big skilled forward from the AJHL. West Kelowna Warriors head coach and GM Simon Ferguson says the team's goal, unsurprisingly, is to be the last one standing this spring. And in order to have playoff success, you have to have players who can step up and play any situation. Now, they've been having a pretty good year. So that's what they were looking for in their latest edition here. A 2005-born forward Carter Oakenfold, who signed with the BCHL club yesterday. The 19-year-old comes to West Kelowna after starting with the season with the AJHL Spruce Grove Saints, where he notched 9 goals and 20 points in 40 games. And we turn our attention to the roads. Next closure of Highway 97 for blasting is set to occur today. That is its usual place and time at Callan Road and Okanagan Lake Provincial Park between 11 and 12:30. That'll be closed today. And, of course, the road report brought to you by CSN Collision Centers. Also, be aware if you're traveling on the Coquihalla Highway, there is a heavy snowfall warning in the Hope to Merritt stretch. And we can expect significant snowfall beginning later this evening, up to 15 to 20 centimeters in that area. Visibility will be suddenly reduced at times, and of course, weather in the mountains can change suddenly. This weather is going to be chilly and cold and snowy everywhere, really. Forecast for ATB Wealth. Realize your vision of wealth at atb.com/wealthkelowna. We will have snowy weather and temperature down around -9 tonight. For tomorrow, it will be progressively chillier. And you know what? Today with the wind chill, it's going to feel quite a bit colder than -9, like somewhere around -28 or something like that. We'll take a look out the window, and we see some high clouds out there right now, and things just sort of brewing, I guess, and building. I don't know if we have the shot. We maybe don't have the shot. We'll go to the Big White shot. Then we'll go to the other Big White shot. That's Happy Valley. Gem Lake, looking good. Now, those are the roads. That's the connector there, top of the connector. So it's pretty messy. We'll keep going. And that is actually on the way to Vernon there, the Kalmalka Summit. So locally roads are, patchy ice basically. And then next up, we have Happy Galley again. Happy Valley, it's where I want to be. Okay. There's our 5-day weather forecast. Sunshine and cloud tomorrow, and high of -19. We'll be getting down to around -25 overnight, and -20 for Saturday, -20 for Sunday, -19 for Monday. So you can see those cold temperatures continuing right through the rest of the week. But with it, hey, you know what? We'll see some sunshine. So that's always feeling good on the face. Just got to bundle up, or as Liz from Big White says, rug up. All right, so that's our newscast and the weather forecast for the morning. Have a great day. We'll be back again later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock with the day's headlines. The team is working hard at collecting all the latest news stories and working on the news right now. You can always check in for the latest stories at KelownaNow.com and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Our daily newsletter, which is delivered every morning at 7 a.m. And if you enjoy these videos, if you think it's a decent way of getting some of the content and hearing about what's going on in Kelowna, by all means, please like and subscribe so you don't miss a one. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again this afternoon.